Right, clause 6.3, planning of changes. Here's the thing. It's the shortest subclause in the whole of clause 6. One sentence, you could read it out in about 8 seconds. When the organization determines the need for changes to the information security management system, the changes shall be carried out in a planned manner. That's it. That's the clause. It got added in the 2022 version of the standard. And I reckon it's the single most skipped requirement in ISO 27001, precisely because it's so small. People see one line and think, yeah, we're fine. Next, cute. Because everyone pours their energy into the big glamorous neighbours. 6.1 Risk Assessment and Risk Treatment. That's the one with the spreadsheet and the risk register and the color coding that somebody spent a full weekend on. 6.2 Objectives. Lovely. Everyone loves an objective, and then 6.3 sits at the bottom like the quiet kid at the back of the class who turns out to be the one who was right the entire time. So, let me tell you what planned actually means, because that's the whole game here. Picture a small SaaS company, 12 people. They've got their certificate. It's framed. It's on the wall behind the desk in every sales call. And then things start happening, because things always start happening. They ship a new product line. They onboard a new supplier because the old one got expensive. Someone does a reorg, and suddenly the head of engineering also owns support. They buy a tiny competitor for the customer list. And Dave, poor Dave, who is somehow also the ISMS owner on top of his actual job, Dave rolls out a shiny new tool on a Thursday afternoon because the sales team asked nicely. Now, individually, every one of those is a good decision. Growth, progress, momentum. But watch what happens to the management system underneath. New product touches customer data. The risk assessment never contemplated. The new supplier never went through supplier due diligence because the person who runs due diligence was in the reorg. The reorg quietly orphaned 3 control owners. And nobody noticed because the document that lists them hasn't been opened since the certification audit. The acquisition brought in a second set of laptops, a second identity provider, and a whole culture that has never heard of your access review. And Dave's shiny new tool now has an integration token sitting inside your production environment with permissions nobody has ever looked at. Nothing broke, that's the horrible part. Nothing broke. Every single one of those was a Tuesday. But your scope has drifted, your risk profile has drifted. Your statement of applicability now describes a company that no longer exists. And you will find this out in one of exactly 2 ways: an auditor or an incident. One of those is significantly more expensive, and it isn't the auditor. This is what rot looks like. It isn't dramatic. Nobody sabotages an ISMS. It just gets slowly out of date by 1,000 perfectly reasonable decisions, taken one at a time by people who were busy. So, planned, what does planned actually mean in practice? It means the security thinking happens before the change, not after it. That's genuinely most of it, before, not after. Ask 4 questions. What are we changing? Why? What does it do to our risks, our scope, our controls, our suppliers, our data, and who is actually responsible for making that true purpose, consequence, resources, responsibility? Write the answers down somewhere a human being will find them. That's not a project management office. That's not a change advisory board with a fortnightly meeting and biscuits. For a 12-person company, that might be 4 bullet points in a ticket. The standard says planned manner. It does not say bureaucratic manner. Those are different words, and the gap between them is where a lot of small companies torture themselves for no reason at all. Quick note, because people mix these up. This is about changes to the management system itself. Your scope, your policies, your controls, your risk picture, who owns what. There's separate change control for your technical and operational stuff over in Annex A related. Not the same clause. Don't let anyone tell you your deployment pipeline satisfies 6.3, because your deployment pipeline has never once had an opinion about your statement of applicability. And I'll be honest with you about my own version of this. I have absolutely been the person who set up a beautiful system, felt enormously pleased with myself, and then changed 9 things about how I work over the following year and updated the documentation exactly 0 times. The system didn't fail. I did, slowly, cheerfully, with excellent intentions the entire way down. That's what makes this clause quietly brilliant. It's the one that says a management system is a living thing, or it's wallpaper, and wallpaper passes precisely one audit. So here's your dare, and I want you to actually do it, not nod at it. Open your risk assessment. Look at the date it was last meaningfully touched. Now write down every significant thing that changed in your business since that date. New product, new supplier, new tool, new hire with admin rights, new office, new market, new anything. Then be honest about how many of those went through any kind of security thinking before they happened. If that list is short, brilliant, you're already doing 6.3 and you just didn't have a number for it. If it's long, you don't have a compliance problem yet. You have a compliance problem soon. Go and shorten the list.